everybody, and welcome in to Blue Jays Today, folks, where, wow, breaking news. Max Scherzer, future first ballot Hall of Famer, is joining the Toronto Blue Jays.
Let's go!
Like you were saying to me right off camera, this feels like something out of a dream, out of a fairy tale. You know what I mean? Like, never would have expected that, you know, during this offseason, Mad Max would be coming here north of the border. But here we are, folks. My God, I'm amped. The rotation is stacked. We might be all the way back. We're going to break down this move, what it means for the rotation, what it means for future moves. Because there's been a lot of speculation as to the fact that maybe Max Scherzer is tied into another big-time free agent name, and then just overall, like, where we are at right now with this team. Quick shout-out to the 500 people who are joining us in the chat right now. If you are half as amped up as we are, please let your thoughts be known in the chat. Hit that like, smash the subscribe button, guys. We're so close to 30,000 subscribers. That has been the goal for a long period of time, and I mean, like, that feels like a fairy tale almost as much as this feels like a fairy tale right now.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody in here right now. You got Bone, you got Ryerson, you got Leia, you got Danielle Castro, Ari Pi, Focal, everybody, Jeremiah, Christopher, Blockdash. Guys, we have an opportunity to do something this year. I mean, yeah, do we need another bat? Sure, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but like, we always knew that adding pitching depth was crucial to this aging rotation, and adding a guy like Max Scherzer, I literally made a video about this. I'm going to change it all, and we're going to fix it for Saturday. But I literally made a video talking about how adding Max Scherzer not only adds a little bit of depth to your rotation, you can turn this into a six-man if you want. You can move Yariel Rodriguez into the bullpen, which may happen now that we have Max Scherzer. But it also adds this mentality, this hunger to win. If he's signing with you, you've convinced him your team is going to win, which might spark some other moves, but he's here to win. Yeah. And that is going to kind of leak into the rest of the team. I'd hope so. If not, then what are you doing? Mad Max in your clubhouse and you're here to win? Wake the hell up, Blue Jays. Let's go.
And I do think that is going to be what it is, guys. Got to give a quick shout out here to some of the donations before we get to the overall deal right here. But Eton, $279 dono. I love this deal. We're going to get to the details very soon. Thank you very much. Dave right here, been a member for 10 months. Let's go. Didn't expect this order of signings. Maybe Alonso follows. We will get to that. And then also Jordan Keats with a $2 dono saying, let's go. Ross actually doing things. Pop drinks. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
This might look like water, but I'm not going to say what else it could possibly be because of the sponsor of the video.
But seriously, this is a time for Blue Jays fans. Let's flash over to the deal, the tweet, just the confirmation of everything right here. We got the man, the myth, the legend, the dude who, when you see it, you know it to be fact. Jeff Passan coming out here and saying right-hander Max Scherzer and the Toronto Blue Jays are in agreement on a one-year, $15.5 million contract. Sources tell ESPN. The Blue Jays, they've been interested in Scherzer for weeks now, and the deal for him to join their rotation is done. First on the news was John Heyman. Quick shout out to Money Dude, $2 dono. 1 year ago today, we got JT. Today, we got Mad Max. Interesting.
Big upgrade.
We like to target the veterans clearly at the end of January.
I think I like this veteran just a little bit more. No offense, JT. I loved you. I loved your time in Toronto, but Mad Max is going to offer a lot to this team.
He's something else, man.
He's special. He's a Hall of Famer. No offense, JT. This guy's a Hall of Famer right here. Now, I also love that it's 15.5. There was speculation out there like, well, if Mad Max going to sign, he's going to want more than Verlander, who got 15 for one. 15.5. You just had to get that extra $500,000. But yeah, Max Scherzer, Blue Jay, it's confirmed. It's blowing up all over the internet right now. And what I love so much about this deal, again, like, this is a clear example of we're going all in for this 1 year. Let's pound it all in. And let's give this rotation, let's give this team an opportunity to win this year. I know there's still a lot of doubts to whether this team is going to be competitive. Maybe we'll wrap up this video saying, where are we putting the Blue Jays right now? But I think that this is definitely going to help your ball team.
It's an incredible step, right? Like, I know that Max Scherzer isn't the guy that he was when he was, winning Cy Youngs at will or, striking out like double-digit people every single outing. He's not necessarily that same guy anymore, but this is still something, or this is still somebody who is going to bring a lot to that rotation. And alone, just the depth of having another arm, that is massive. Can we please bring up his numbers right now so to familiarize ourselves with what it is that he has been doing recently. Max Scherzer, we actually had a great argument earlier this morning, me and Adam, bad for baseball. Fun little question right here, slightly off topic, but who do you think's better career, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander? I'll leave you with that. But, I mean, the career numbers for Max Scherzer are fucking impressive, man. This has been one of the best pitchers in the last, 2 decades of time, basically. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, now, obviously, he's not that same guy anymore. We got to look at what he's done recently. And in Texas, he was hurt last year, only made 9 appearances, but the 9 appearances he made were solid. I mean, we kind of can describe it as that. A 3.95 ERA, a whip of 1.15, and then he had 43 innings pitched. And you're right, the strikeouts are under the strikeout per 9, and he had 40 last year. But again, smaller sample size. You go back just a year ago when he was 38, 3.77 ERA. The year before that with 23 starts, 2.29. That's the thing. You're looking at a constant, 23 starts, 27 starts last year, beginning the year injured, then got injured midway through the year, only with 9. So my expectation for Mad Max is give me 15 to 25 starts. If you can find somewhere in that range, give me 80 to 150 innings pitched, I would be absolutely happy with this type of deal because, again, we're going to break down what the rotation looks like right now. I'm not asking for a guy to step on the mound in Game 1 of the World Series unless he has that kind of effing year, right? Like Chris Sale Renaissance year. But I'm asking you to give me some depth and help our older veteran rotation survive the full 162.
Yeah, and it's so funny. You said that right at the same time here that Joseph Gallo said, give me 15 starts and I'll call it a win.
Yeah,
right? And
because
ultimately that's what you're paying for. You sign the guy to a 1-year deal. It is only $15.5 million. So, I mean, you're not breaking the bank in any capacity right here. And ultimately, what you are doing is just giving yourself more options. Walking into the year, I was looking at a rotation and I was thinking it was a strength. But then I was taking a closer look at it just a couple days ago when we did a whole breakdown of it. And I'm like, damn, there is a lot of question marks here. We're starting, at that point anyways, Yariel Rodriguez was going to be starting every single fifth day. Chris Bassett, obviously, he's still going to be in there quite often, but it's well, what are we going to get there? This just gives you more opportunities, more options, right? Do you want to do the 6-man rotation? You can if you want. Or alternatively, you can take Yariel Rodriguez and you can do what a lot of people were suggesting you do from the start, which is turn him into that kind of Ross Stripling, Ryan Yarbrough, Swiss Army knife dude who can, pitch out of the relief, can come in when you need him, can do a spot start. Now we have that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, you could do both, both those situations. You could start the year with a 6-man. Maybe you're getting everybody ramped up halfway through the year. Maybe in May, you're starting to get, okay, let's transition to the 5th man. Maybe we have an injury in our bullpen. Yariel, you go back there, get us some innings. And then, mid-August, if we actually are in a race, in a hunt for the playoffs, let's go to a 6-man again. Let's get everybody to the playoffs healthy this time around. And then again, we're not even talking about this guy in this video, but there's also Alek Manoah could be coming into the picture.
100%, yeah.
Right? So, again, more depth, right? Jake Bloss, we don't always get from him, but that's just depth being added to our rotation and to our system. And Mad Max helps with that, man. And I'm so happy. Now, I know maybe I'm jumping the gun right here, but do you think that this is, how much more of a difference maker is Max Scherzer really going to be for the Blue Jays?
I'll be honest, I do think it is a pretty big difference maker, and for a couple different reasons, right? Okay, first, there's the numbers on a page, and if you get 100 innings, I'm convinced with somebody like Max Scherzer, I'm convinced that they're going to be quality.
For sure. I agree.
If he's healthy, of course. If he's healthy, right? It's a different story if he's injured. But I just don't think that this guy is the type of person, the type of competitor that is, you're going to see get roughed up every other outing. He's not in him. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a fucking born winner, a born competitor. He's going to the Hall of Fame. And some of these guys, they're just bred differently. Him, Verlander, you look across sports too. This guy feels like the Alex Ovechkin of baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously,
Doesn't matter how old you are. He's just a fucking crazy dude who's going to go out there every other day. And if he's healthy, he is going to win. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? Actually, Sean's gaming in here is kind of made me laugh. Saying the analytical side of baseball will screw this team again. And now I'm thinking, imagine if you got the analytics team coming to Max Scherzer and be like, hey, Max, maybe you should do this. He'd be like, F you.
Oh, God,
I don't care what you have to say. That's the mentality I'm talking about.
John, listen to me. Listen right now. Listen here, okay? John Schneider is not telling Scherzer anything. It's in fact, it's the opposite.
Yeah. And I think too, even with Pete Walker, like I really wonder what that relationship's gonna look like, because we always say like Pete Walker's that mentor. He like changes guys. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. He might give some tips or here and there, like maybe just watch your elbow here, blah blah blah. But like, in order how to pitch, I think Max Scherzer is wise beyond his years.
Exactly. I mean, like this guy's been around the block, right? Like we're talking about a 3-time Cy Young winner, 2-time World Series winner. Like I can go on and on and on and on, right? Somebody who has done it, been there, and will inevitably help us when he's on the bump. So that's number one. Number one, we got better because hopefully we're gonna get 100 innings out of them, and they're going to be quality. So that right there is very, very important. Number two, and I think this is ultimately the most important thing, actually, is just how he is going to command that locker room.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think this changes things. I think, like, if you walk, I always think about this, right? If you're a guy, you just any guy, you think about your favorite Toronto Blue Jay player, even fucking Guerrero, right? If you're a guy and you walk into the locker room, or you walk into spring training, or whatever, or you show up, to the game, and you're doing your warm-ups and stuff, and Max Scherzer's there, and he's in his zone
6
doing his,
he's doing stretches.
He's doing his stuff right now. He's in his zone, looking locked in. You're going to lock in.
Yeah, of course you're going to lock in. Well, I'm picturing this. Remember how in the last couple of years, the pitchers have kind of been doing that thing where when they're warming up at the Rogers Center, I don't know if they do it in the way ballparks, but at the Rogers Center, they're all around the starting pitcher warming up. They're all there, the whole starting rotation. Can you picture Max Scherzer, either when he's warming up, all the dudes behind him looking at him and how he does his work, or even vice versa, when there's somebody else, if it's Gosman warming up and Max Scherzer's there watching? Can you imagine that camera angle into the dugout when you see Max Scherzer sitting between Kevin Gosman, Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, and Bowden Francis? Imagine Max Scherzer talking to Bowden Francis. You want to talk about a dog mentality? That's what Bowden Francis showed last year. Imagine Max Scherzer feeding and giving him boosting that confidence, that dog mentality of trusting your shit and letting it eat. That's what I want to see. And yes, he's here for 1 year, but the impact will outlast that 1 year.
Dude, of course, right? And I know it's a completely, it is a different situation, and like I don't want to draw like direct comparisons here, but I think about several years ago when when Tom Brady went over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you just saw like there was a complete different change of mentality. It was,
we have to win now.
Exactly. Like it's just like when that guy shows up, you better fucking show up. Because like that's the GOAT. I know it's different for Max. I know it's a different level and everything like that.
A little bit of a
whatever. But in his own right, you better. If you are making errors in the field when Max Scherzer's pitching, you don't want to be doing that. I want to be giving run support for Max Scherzer. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be on it all the time.
Now, tiny minor, rerouting of this conversation, because Bone just reminded me of this. Shout out to Bone 6000 with the dono saying, we tape for money now? I'm thinking so. I mean, with the signing of Max Scherzer, the Blue Jays are well beyond what they've expected to be, paying guys this offseason. I think the dollar mark was like what, $40 to $50 million.
That's around where it was, yeah.
How much are we at now? How much is Jimenez getting paid?
Okay, well, Jimenez is getting paid actually more than you'd think.
18 mil?
Because I think, I don't know if it's quite at 18, because I know that it kind of it gets bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Yeah.
So it's like it might. I'm not sure where it's at this year, but I know that it ramps up.
Okay.
Unless this was the ramp up year, I'm not sure. Either way, we are significantly over.
Here we go. Yeah, here we go. We're projected to get $250 million. That's before the luxury tax.
Right.
So
okay.
We're gonna get hit quite a bit. So that's a lot of money.
Okay.
A lot of money.
So you know what? Honestly, like let's first take a quick moment here and just give hats off to Edward Rogers and the boys over there at the Rogers Communication Company, Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, all those lads right there.
Yeah,
it was slow. It was slow going off the beginning right there, off the rip. When we were getting scammed out of Soto and scammed out of others, and we thought Burns was coming here and he didn't come here, and all of December it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Slow going. You bring in Jimenez. You bring in Hoffman and Jimmy Garcia. You bring in Santander, and you bring in Max Scherzer. Listen, Guys,
I mean, look at that.
Listen,
right?
I can't. I'm one of the biggest critics of Ross Atkins out there, but credit where credit is due.
Look,
you know,
I said this off the top of the offseason. You needed to spend $100 million to convince me that you're back. Well, let's count it up right here, right? You got Max Scherzer, $15 million. Santander's getting, again, a lot of this is deferred money, but still $18 million. That's 33.5 right there. Then you've got Hoffman at about 7.6, let's say 7.5 for math's sake, right? You're looking at 41, 42 million, something like that. And then you got Jimmy Garcia, another 7. So we're closing in on 50 now. Is there any other signing? I don't think there is. So looking at $50 million being added just for this year in payroll. Look, they hit it. Is there room for somebody else to join this team? I think we'll get to that.
Well, exactly. We're teasing that a little bit because that is where we're going to head in a little bit. But I do want to take a quick look at the rotation just before we answer this kind of donation question right here from Darren saying, figured Alonso would lure Scherzer to the Jays, maybe the other way around. And that is what it is that we're insinuating, everybody, which we will be talking about soon. So stay with us. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. Your name should pop up right here. We have 1,200 people in here, almost 1,300 people. We only have 187 likes, guys.
Whoa.
That doesn't feel right for the Max Scherzer celebratory stream. We are all the way back as the Toronto Blue Jays. If you haven't already done so, please like up the stream and subscribe to Blue Jays Today. Help us get to 30,000 subscribers. Can we please pull up the depth chart of the Toronto Blue Jays pitchers? Unless you got something here from Hector Gomez.
People were saying Hector Gomez, just basically good moves. Good news. He's kind of quote tweeting what he said right here. Remember January 20th when we signed Anthony Santander, and he said good news for Blue Jay fans. There are more moves to come. They aren't done yet. More good news will coming for Blue Jays fans. A little bit of English grammar there, but more good news coming, says Hector Gomez. Well, that's what we're gonna get to a little bit later. Let's keep teasing it. There could be more moves coming. Hopefully, guys, but let's get over to that depth chart right there.
Oh my God! I know. Jesus Christ!
Listen. Right now, okay. Before we get all hyped up and everything, I do want to say this, and before we look at the rotation a little bit more deeper, I'm already kind of at what I'd want the Blue Jays to do in a good, realistic offseason. You get me a power bat, you get me a legit closer, maybe some depth, and you did that with Jimmy and Nick Sandlin. And then you made an unexpected trade, a really good trade for some good defense in Andres Jimenez, and then you add a veteran starting pitcher like Max Scherzer to give you depth. Like, I'm at an A- right now, guys. Like, you kind of touched on everything,
dude.
And you went a little bit above and beyond.
Speaking of, 5 minutes ago, John Heyman just said Blue Jays missed out on Soto, Sasaki, Burns, and Fried, but with Jimenez, Santander, Hoffman, and now Scherzer, their team is much improved. Solid A offseason.
No, I swear I didn't say that before knowing what he just said. Right,
I know. That's exactly crazy. Right. He's on the exact same wavelength as you right now, and he does say if they can sign Vlad Jr., it's an A+. And I would also argue that if they can sign Pete Alonso, it would also be an A+. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Can we please take a look at the depth chart of the Toronto Blue Jays rotation? Shout out to Fangraphs, by the way, for already having Mr. Max Scherzer in here. That's fucking awesome. But they are right now projecting the Toronto Blue Jays rotation to go as follows. Number 1, ace of the squad, Kevin Gausman. I mean, I would anticipate that it'd either be him or Jose Barrios is kind of the opening day starter, one or the other, depending on how they're doing and everything like that. But those are your 1 and your 2. You got Chris Bassett right there at the 3, Max Scherzer 4, and then Bowden Francis 5. That to me is a rotation that has upside, that also has stability. There's stability in there. And it's just across the board, I look at that and I think this is something that can anchor the squad, that should lead to success. It's like you roll those guys out every other day, 5 days a week. You might get one blow up in there from one of them, but it feels like you're going to get, 4 other quality starts every week.
Yeah, I like what you said about upside, because obviously we know who Gausman is, we know who Barrios is, Bassett, and we know who Scherzer is going to be. But honestly, the fact that Bowden Francis is sitting there at our 5 spot as upside is phenomenal.
That's the thing. It's like no pressure, dude.
Right.
Nope. And if you suck, well, okay, you know what? We don't want to do this, but we could put in Yariel, if we wanted to.
He doesn't want to do that.
Exactly.
He's got to put the pressure on himself. But let me again, to paint the picture of how every day you've got a chance to win now. because like Yariel Rodriguez, we just broke it down. If you guys haven't seen the video already, it's kind of outdated now, but we talked about the final guy in a rotation. Yariel Rodriguez, we're like, the concern of, I think I was saying like 7 or something. Or I think I said 6 or something like that, because we didn't know what we were going to get every single day. Kevin Gausman, do you think you got a chance to win with him on the mound?
Of course, yeah.
We do our like Blue Jays Today shows, guys. Every Monday and Fridays we do Blue Jays Today shows, breaking down the whole week during the regular season and the offseason. When we do our Blue Jays Today show, breaking down the upcoming series, whenever I see Kevin Gausman, I'm leaning towards a win.
Yeah, of course, depending on
what he is,
the opposing team. But you just feel like you're, regardless, even if you're up against a really solid squad, he's going to give you an opportunity, and then it's going to come down the lineup.
Like if he was up against like someone else's ace, obviously, depending on how they're playing, there's some arguments there. But if he's up against another team's number 2, I feel still pretty good.
Still very good. Yeah, exactly, right? So, I mean, again, like, you look at that rotation, and I think to myself, like, very good. Solid,
right? And then keep on going down, like Jose Barrios. Like, again, Jose Barrios gives us the best chance to win every single day because of how stability and how reliable he is. He's very consistent every single day. That's a solid guy right there. Chris Bassett, now, that is probably the guy with even more question marks than Max Scherzer, in my opinion, because he was walking a lot of guys. I would hope to see some of that command coming back. But again, like, flip a coin, maybe more heavy on the head side of winning. I think we got a good chance. Max Scherzer, if he's healthy, I think we got a very good chance to win any game that he's pitching. And then Bowden Francis, again, with that upside, dude, this guy could be the effing ace of the franchise one day.
I agree, man.
If he pitches to his potential.
Shout out to Adored Carrot here with the $6.99 dono saying, John Heyman saying something somewhat positive about the Jays shows that this offseason has gone pretty well. And I agree. I really, really do. It's like, ultimately...
Yeah.
We get on Ross Atkins, just as much as anyone, but like he kind of cooked here. He really did. Like he's addressed every single area, and that is with us missing out on a lot of the other guys, right? Like he's been in on everyone and everything, and we've managed to kind of target an area. We had Shai Davidi on just earlier today. Actually, we posted the podcast, and he was saying it's like, what are they looking at right now? The one thing that they're really missing is that addition to the rotation. There it is. Done. Max Scherzer, baby. So, like, check. Like, Ross Atkins has done a good job, and now there's only 2 things left to potentially do, which is you can still chase after Big Pete, can still chase after Bregman, and then you got the Guerrero extension.
Absolutely. And also, like, shout out to Jim right here with the $2 dono. Even he's saying this, guys, love you, but Max isn't the answer. Sorry. We're very excited because the move happened that kind of affects other people in this rotation, in this roster. Like, Max Scherzer, I'm not thinking Max Scherzer is going to be Corbin Burns level out here and, like, pitch 32 games with a sub-3 ERA. No. I obviously, I see Max Scherzer as depth, which gives us protection, which gives us a chance to win, an ability to go to a 6-man rotation, and a veteran leadership. Like, if you've been listening to the podcast, Jim, like, that's what we've been talking about, and I love how he has an LA Dodgers banner. Dude, Max Scherzer's not even in your starting rotation. I get it, but, like, some teams out there need a Max Scherzer to be getting through a whole 162.
Yeah, and it's, again, like, it's the mentality, right? I really do think that, like, this right here makes some of the players who were like kind of fringe buying in on the direction of the squad buy in.
We're buying in. It's now, like for this year at least.
Exactly.
And it's the last dance. I brought it up to Shai. I've been bringing it up this whole offseason. It's the last dance.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like you're okay, you're like, okay, fuck it. Like if Max Scherzer just decided after legitimately making $300+ million and already having a Hall of Fame career, having nothing left to prove in his life, like literally nothing. If Max Scherzer just decided to, instead of retire and live the rest of his life beautifully, by the way, to come to the Toronto Blue, to use another year of his life and play for the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, that alone is seriously. Like, if he's buying in, I should buy the fucking.
No, seriously. Well, I think about it too, right? Like, look at Bo Bichette as well. Dudes, yes, mentality stuff last year, but people are buying into this team right now. Your management is buying in like they haven't done in the last couple of years. I better step the fuck up.
I know.
It's time to go. Fuck, dude. I started laughing midway through your talking because I just started laughing because I actually I'm buying back in.
Right?
I'm buying back in.
Like you can see the mission, you can see the direction. It's gonna require a lot of bounce backs. It's going to require a couple breakouts. But if it, like, again, if you have the winning culture that like, and it's not even a tangible thing, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to see any number, you're not going to see any statistic. This is not OPS. This is not whatever.
This is vibes, baby.
Exactly. It's a momentum, vibe, attitude, all of that shit, you know? And I just think that Max Scherzer brings that more than anybody.
Absolutely. We got a couple donos in here. I know we just got one from Lindsay B. I know that we missed another one, but we'll bring it up in a second. My computer's like going crazy right now from all the comments. I can't even read the Lindsay B one right here.
I got it. She says, cheers to Max and the boys getting to 28.4K. Let's get them to 30,000 subscribers, everybody. Thanks for the live stream, guys. There you go. Lindsay B right in here. We love you. We appreciate you. And we appreciate everybody who has hit that like button and subscribed to Blue Jays today. Like Lindsay says, we are so close to that 30,000 subscriber mark. Been the goal for a long period of time. Also, Absolute Dan, we did not miss your donation, dude. We're just getting caught up in everything right now. W's in the chat for Absolute Dan with a $2 dono saying better offseason than last year by far.
100%.
Well, listen, that wasn't a super high bar to match, but yeah, no shit.
No,
this has been a win.
I think this offseason, I might be talking out of my ass, but I think this offseason, if we were to go back to, let's say, 2020 when we signed Ryu, that was pretty good, but, like, obviously, that's all we did. George Springer was obviously a great offseason. I think Kevin Gausman and extending Jose Barrios is the best offseason of this Blue Jays Today channel, 100%. This might be number 2. I'm not even joking. This might be right up. Okay, what's better offseason? Okay, you know what? No, I'll take it back. Signing George Springer and Marcus Semien was better than this because of what we saw. But this could be potential. You never know.
Listen,
you never know.
Here's the thing, right? You know, what if Max Scherzer has the Renaissance Chris Sale year, and it's like, oh my God,
then
right?
it's the best. And
you know?
signing because like I'll say number 1 best offseason could have been signing George Springer and then getting Semien and then getting Robbie Ray, and then he had a Cy Young year, and then that's probably the best one of the. And then next to it would be Kevin Gausman, Jose Barrios. This one though, clearly number 3, Anthony Santander, Max Scherzer, Jeff Hoffman. I mean, if we make another move, it might even surpass.
Again, hindsight will tell.
Always tell.
Time will tell. Shout out to Bone, by the way. I apologize if we missed your donation, man. I'm really, really sorry. Just ask your question again, dude. And again, chat's moving like crazy, so we do apologize if we missed anything or any questions or any donations, guys. Shout out and thank you to the people that just subscribed right there. W's in the chat for you. People are shouting at Ben Nicholson Smith. He did just say that there will be no deferrals for this. So, I mean, you saw that there were a lot of deferrals with that Anthony Santander contract. This one being the 1-year deal that it is, $15.5 million. Lock it, set it aside. Like, there it is. Here's your money. Come play for us. Win us a bunch of ball games.
Love it.
That's all. I love that too, because it's just, for a 1-year deal, you want it like done and dusted. It's like you're here, and then next year you're gone.
We don't have to deal with this next year too, right? That's the thing.
Also, beautiful thing about a 1-year deal like this, and I know that, right now we're all hyped up about winning and everything like that. However, there is also the nice benefit to that. Well, if Max Scherzer is having a little bit of a renaissance season, but, us as a team, you know what I'm saying? It's us as a team is not necessarily working out. There is the option to trade him at the trade deadline, so keep that in mind.
And in fact, he'd probably request one. So
he probably would.
Because if he came here and we were losing, it's like, get me out of this city, send me to the Dodgers or something like that, right? Also,
so, again, another benefit to the 1-year deal.
Another benefit, right? Also, I did want to point this out. They do have Yoel Rodriguez in that bullpen listed as long reliever.
Oh my God!
There's no.
He kicked out Zach Pop.
He kicked out Zach
Pop.
Gone.
Let's go.
Gone.
Right? W's in the chat.
So this is what I'm talking about. Getting Max Scherzer doesn't only just help your rotation, but it kicks out someone in that effing bullpen. Yeah. And now, literally. So what did I say last year? I said this. I said all I can trust in this bullpen at the time was, Jordan Romano, Eric Swanson, Chad Green, and I guess I'm starting to trust Brandon Little. Everyone else can go. Right now, the only person left of that bullpen is Tommy Nance. That leaves you a room for maybe if you did want to make one more signing. Maybe if there was a breakout guy of some sort. Maybe you trade for a dude. And honestly, Tommy Nance apparently has some of the best stuff plus in all of baseball, whatever that means to you if you're a believer in the metrics. He has one of the best stuff plus. So if my worst guy in this bullpen has the best stuff, like one of the best top 15 and stuff plus in all of baseball, fuck it. This guy's pitching when we're 10 up or 10 down anyways. You know what I mean? So the bullpen is looking so much better. The rotation is complete. Now, I want to get to this part because we've been teasing it all podcast, all live stream. Does this lead to another move? Because the lineup still isn't there, and there's still a couple big guys out there like an Alex Bregman, like a Pete Alonso. Does this push the needle for maybe one of them to get done? Or does this, or is some conspiracy out there where maybe the Max Scherzer signing was a domino that then Alonso signing's coming later, or a Bregman signing? Because we heard the rumblings of, well, Max Scherzer only wants to come play for a team that is showing they're serious about improving their roster. That was after Anthony Santander signed. So is there guarantee? Is there some sort of speculation? Maybe we do have, something in place, and we're feeling really good that we're gonna add a little bit more. Is something coming next, Nick?
Well, again, Hector. Look, as much as we always preface, when we bring up Hector Gomez. Like, we always preface him being like, take it with a grain of salt because he's been wrong about stuff before. This guy's been fucking, he's been nailing darts, dude.
Very good.
He's firing at the pin right now and sticking it, 3 feet away from the hole.
I know that feeling in video game form, not real life form.
No, me neither. But it's like you imagine yourself doing it all the time.
Life, I'd be amazing.
But seriously, he's nailing these things, right? Like, he's been saying more moves are coming, right? And he's saying more good news is going to be coming for Toronto Blue Jays fans. Now, let's interpret this a couple different ways.
Okay.
Could this mean a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension coming? Because
awesome.
That would be good news.
That's A+.
That's A+, right? That could mean that. That could also mean what, we've been talking about quite a bit, which is the Pete Alonso coming to Toronto. Or alternatively, and we haven't even had an opportunity to talk about this on this podcast, the 6-year deal that we have on the table right now for Alex Bregman.
Right.
I mean, does he like Max Scherzer? Maybe.
I mean, I like Max Scherzer. I think he would like Max Scherzer. And also, too, again, a lot of conspiracy theorists out there are probably going to go, well, Max Scherzer played for the Mets. Pete Alonso played for the Mets. Maybe those two are going to come together. I don't think there's really too much weight to that. But still, I mean, look, if you want to put any weight to anything, it was that Max Scherzer had a Zoom call with I don't know if it was a Zoom call or a phone call, but it was John Heyman brought it up on MLB Network. Had a call with the Blue Jays and said very blunt, look, I want to play on a winning team and your roster isn't good enough. You need to make some additions to your roster to get it done. Now, I don't know for certain if that call was before the Santander signing or after the Santander signing, but if it was after, then, well, we haven't done anything. So why is he signing? I'll let you guys speculate because I'm not going to be the one out here saying that, like, well, that definitely means this or definitely means that. But I feel confident that maybe there is something a little bit that can be done, whether it be adding another bullpen arm. Maybe it's adding, like, I know he's already off the board, but like a Ha-Seong Kim type. Give me a bench role, reliable guy, maybe utility, Swiss Army knife, or something like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I feel confident that maybe we're not done. It may not be a big signing like a Pete Alonso or Alex Bregman, but something will happen.
Well, can we bring up Ari Pie? Shout out to Ari Pie right here, dude. This guy's always sending us great stuff. He sent us an article just the other day. We were going to bring it up, then we didn't really have time to do it, but it was talking about how the Toronto Blue Jays, and this is from a New York Mets reporter, by the way.
New York Mets.
So, let's factor in.
We've been fooled by them quite a lot.
Maybe they're using us as leverage. Oh, yeah. However, considering we just saw one of the moves transpire, maybe they're not. And maybe they're on to something right here. Bring up the article right now. It's talking about how the Toronto Blue Jays are very serious and very interested in bringing in not one, but two of Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman, and Max Scherzer.
There it is.
They just got Scherzer. That only leaves Bregman. And that leaves Alonso. And if you get one of those let me say this. If you get one of those individuals, I am all the fucking way back.
I'm already back, but like I'm gonna apologize to Ross Atkins.
Oh yeah.
I think my next video room
I'm sorry. I was wrong.
No, seriously, my next video room following if they sign one of Alonso or Bregman is I'm sorry, Ross Atkins, that I doubted you. You did exactly what you said.
You cooked.
You cooked.
You cooked.
You absolutely cooked. So if it happens, again, we don't know. We don't know if this was a leverage thing, but again, they did get it done. We don't know anything, but if they do, I can tell you this for certain. The Blue Jays, the win total, the over-under, you might want to start smashing it right now if you really do think something else is coming, because right now it's at 78.5. Shout out to Betway. And That's looking like a smash right now.
Right.
That's looking like a smash on the over. You think they're? Let me ask you this: with this roster right now, do you think they're over 500?
Well, it feels like the momentum is good.
Feels like you have
so
to be,
listen,
right?
it's like right now, today, I'm gonna say yes. Like maybe tomorrow when I sleep on it and I calm down a little bit, I'll feel differently.
Right.
But it just feels like, again, like the momentum is in the Toronto Blue Jays' favor. Like it feels like we're on the upswing, and everyone's saying it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the only one. Heyman's saying it. Right? Like other reporters are coming out here. Typically reporters that get on the Toronto Blue Jays for being fucking idiots. They're coming out and saying it's like, hey, wait a second. Maybe Ross did cook. Maybe this is an A-off season for the Toronto Blue Jays. Not saying that we're going to win the division or anything like that or even make a wild card, but like we might be fun to watch. And that's another thing that we haven't even talked about yet. How fucking awesome is it gonna be when you see Max Scherzer?
I can't even picture it.
In a
Blue Jays white Blue Jay
in a Blue Jays
at
uniform
Rogers Center
on the mound.
I gotta go see that game.
He striking someone out and like looking with his crazy eye.
Dude. Okay, they probably don't because they have a lot of respect for Barrios. But could you imagine opening day, Max Scherzer? Or
Like,
opening day weekend at least. You got to get Max Scherzer.
I don't.
in there, you think,
Look,
right?
I don't care when or how, but like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be amazing.
Aura. Like that's aura. You see this guy on the mound giving a fuck. When was the last time you seen a Blue Jay give a fuck? You know what I mean? Obviously, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. obviously gives one, and a lot of guys give one. But last year I saw not a lot of people giving ones around that trade deadline, right? And obviously the rookies were giving their all. But this is a guy who had a career, like we've been talking about, 17 years in this league, and he still gives one. So that's refreshing. That's absolutely refreshing, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that guy. And you said it to me before the podcast. You said this, and I agree with you. I'm more excited to see Max Scherzer than I am not Pete Alonso. I'm Anthony Santander. Because of the aura, because of what he means.
Yeah, and now let me be very clear with that. It's like, I think that ultimately, just from a pound-for-pound WAR basis, Anthony Santander will probably deliver more, especially in the 3 or more years that he's with us.
Way more WAR.
Just from just from a aura and mindset and like who I want to watch.
Man.
Yeah, like let's face it, we're sports fans to entertain us. Like I don't sit down for 3 hours and watch every goddamn baseball game just to do it. Like
I'm gonna watch a Scherzer baseball game.
Exactly.
I'm gonna look for those ones.
Exactly.
Well, I got it anyways. Our job. But still.
Yeah, exactly. But if I had to decide between I can only watch one Blue Jay game like this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm figuring out when Scherzer's pitching, and I'm tuning in.
I want Scherzer versus the Mets. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm watching Scherzer versus the Mets.
Or Scherzer versus the Yankees.
Oh, that would be so good.
He is gonna fuck the Yankees up, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Pound those guys.
Shout out to Dave Popes right here, $6.99 donation saying Betway 78.5 wins over for the Jays might be a steal. Guys, shout out to Betway, by the way, for being the sponsor of Blue Jays today. They're the best. Go check them out.
Oh, yeah, let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of the video while we're at it. And I'll pull up to see if the line is actually changing right now.
They
folks.
might not have it at this moment.
They might lock it right now, but let's give a quick shout out.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway, everybody, for being absolutely phenomenal. Adam's looking for the line right now. Quick moment right here. I just saw this in the chat. Asia Robertson, who is like always viewing our stuff, always in the live streams, always commenting.
What up?
Just saying, Nick and Adam, I lost my mom. So a little bit of a downward.
Oh, sorry, Asia.
Yeah, like that. I mean, again, like that that sucks.
That sucks.
Please let your thoughts be known to Asia in the chat right now. Can't imagine what you're going through, but we in the community are here for you, and we do appreciate
we're
you right
a community,
there.
Right? Like, look, we all have our own personal lives. We all come from different backgrounds and have different things going on in our lives, but we all connect on this one thing, and we kind of always talk about that one thing, but we always forget that we're all people in the end of the day, right? So, like, shout out to you, Asia. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now, the 1,400 of you guys who are here celebrating the Max Scherzer signing.
And I know that there's going to be a lot more opportunities for us to meet in person, for us to celebrate the Blue Jays and cheer on our favorite team, guys. Let's get it.
Keegan Matheson just tweeting out right here, the hashtag Blue Jays have had money to spend all offseason and should still have some flexibility left with 2 weeks until spring training. Oh, my
Keegan,
God.
that profile picture is not only the greatest thing I've seen today.
Oh, my God.
Look at this. Look at this, guys, everybody.
God.
That's amazing. The Blue Jays have had, that's amazing. Vladdy talks aside, they're turning this into a good offseason. Seriously, dude, this offseason at Christmas was a D.
Oh,
like it was
a fucking F, bro. Let's be completely honest.
No, Jimenez signing made it a D. Like, I was like, this could be good.
It wasn't a signing. We traded Horwitz.
Oh, yeah, the Jimenez trade was, like, unexpected. I was like, okay, we're in a D. You know, we're in the Sandlin thing. I was like, D. You know, it wasn't a complete failure. But this is an A now. Also, guys, Betway is still 78.5 over. It is the odds just dropped to 180. F it. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'm taking it right now.
Take it, bro.
Man.
Jim, $2 dono saying apologies. Good luck this season, boys. Go Jays. Appreciate you, Jim. We'll see you in the World Series.
Oh, yeah. Jim, don't worry. Don't need to apologize. Look, we're all having friendly banter right here.
Hey, guys, time for a quick shout out to
you
the sponsor of this video.
one more time. World Series Jays. Dude, I would kill for that. You know how much media headlines that would be? The team that solo Tony.
Oh, my God.
You know, like, from the Jays, they had him.
Dude, like that. I mean, the ultimate underdog story.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Oh, I know.
I think Americans would actually be forced to root for Canada for once, you know?
The whole MLB, other than LA.
They'd have to, you know? It would
like
it would literally be, you know, it would be as if Washington Commanders made it to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
And
it's like, well, we've got to support Washington now, you know? We have to, right?
We have to, man.
Let's talk a little bit about about that 6-year deal for Alex Bregman, because that's kind of flown under the radar just a little bit, but that was revealed just a couple days ago, or just yesterday even, that right now the Toronto Blue Jays have on the table a 6-year deal for Mr. Alex Bregman. Now, I've been saying all offseason, Alex Bregman fits the bill for what a Toronto Blue Jay player or could look like to Ross Atkins anyways. You know, like the mold of the guy, like strong defense, veteran, gets on base, not a whole lot of power, which, you know, to
great
Ross
contact,
Atkins.
Great on base.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
that's what
it's just
likes.
like he checks the boxes of everything, and that is why they have a 6-year deal on the table for him. It felt like talks with them were kind of slowing down, and maybe that's just because we weren't seeing anything with the media. But would you be shocked at this point if Bregman was actually the one that ended up coming?
I would always still be shocked because I'm already at an A, right? I'm A minus, right? I think A minus because it's like what we did, but like we didn't go like super above and beyond. You know what I mean? If you add Alex Bregman, I'm at an A plus. Like you added 2 of the biggest bats of the offseason. You truly. You know, you truly change things around for me, but
we might win 90 games if we add like one more guy.
Okay, yeah. Well, where are we at right now, right? Like, where are we at right now?
Well, okay. Well, where we're at right now. So right now, you know, in complete transparency, I love the rotation. Very happy with the rotation. I don't dislike the bullpen, but I don't like the bullpen either.
I wouldn't say this is one of the most dominant bullpens in base. I think it's good enough to get by for now.
Like we need, like looking at it,
we need
it's
more
like
lefties.
We need a
lefty in the rotation too.
That is another thing. We don't have any of that. So again, like you know, there's issues there. But fuck. You know, looking at the bullpen, I don't like it. I don't not like it. There needs to be some breakouts of some kind, right? Like that's just, it's got to be, you know, Tommy Nance's curveball is going to have to eat. So I like the rotation. I don't dislike or not like the bullpen. The lineup is still a little concerning for me.
It is.
Because there is clear upside in some capacities. However, you know, this really comes down to whether you're a glass half full or glass half empty type of guy.
Right.
Does Bo Bichette get back to leading the league in hits? If you're a glass, you know, half full guy, well, maybe you think that way. Does George Springer like show any semblance of the type of guy that he used to be? I don't know. Does Jimenez get back? Yeah, probably not, right? Does Jimenez, you know, show any semblance of that 2022 year? Because if he does, well, now that trade is a major W.
Right.
But if he's just all defense, well, you know, so the lineup to me is still concerning. I like it better than I did, but that is why for me, if you did add Pete Alonso
One more,
or
or
Alex
Alex
Bregman.
There's
I'm
you can
so
convince myself
back.
because I have more questions about this lineup than I have positive thoughts. Whereas like in both the bullpen and the rotation, I've got a lot more positive than questions. Like there really isn't a whole lot of questions in the bullpen. Like I know, yeah, you might. Here's the thing: Eric Swanson at the end of the year was phenomenal. He was Eric Swanson again. We can all kind of pinpoint the reason why he was bad. Jeff Hoffman, we know who he is. Jack Green, we know who he is. He had a pickup at the end of the year, but that could have been overuse by John Schneider because there was literally nobody else. Jimmy Garcia, we know who he is. He got hurt a little bit, but we know he's a coin flip, right? Brandon Little, I guess we kind of know who he is. Tommy Nance, I don't give a fuck. Yariel Rodriguez, like again, like who gives a F because he's a long man in the bullpen. He might play a little better.
He's probably going to come in when we're losing big anyways.
Where
so.
in the rotation, like I know who everybody is, essentially, other than a couple question marks of Chris Bassett. But point being, more positives here. If we add an Anthony Santander or a Pete Alonso, there might start to become more positives there. Because if you added, let's say you brought in Pete Alonso to take out Will Wagner from the DH spot. Maybe you Will Wagner DH split with, or a third base split with Ernie Clement. Well, that lineup looks a lot more complete, and then add Varsho in center field. Like, there's no real guys that aren't playing a significant role in this team.
That's
right?
the thing. Like, everybody's
everyone's
contributing
doing a
something
role. Yeah.
where it's like, okay, well, if you're not the strongest defender ever, like, you're showing the offense. That's an Anthony Santander for you. That's a Guerrero for you, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, then it's like you can kind of start to, I guess, like, justify to yourself why Andres Jimenez, who, you know, midway through the year has his 650 OPS,
right.
You can be like, well, it's fine. Because Alex Bregman is at the top of the lineup, batting 2 with his 800 OPS, you know Guerrero's behind him, batting him in, and Santander's behind him, batting him in, and
good.
you know, and you can justify that, right? It's like, well, no word, we can have a couple duds in the lineup because you got those stars at the top, right?
Yeah.
So, whereas right now, I think that you are still asking for a lot of things to go right. You're asking for the full Bo Bichette bounce back, not a half bounce back, the full thing. The full, like, you're leading off for us and, you know, you're back to, you know, flirting with 200 hits.
Right.
You're asking for Guerrero to do the exact same thing, which again, I know that he's Guerrero and we trust and we believe in him, but that's still very difficult, right? Like,
for sure.
You know, 940. How many times does he hit a 900 OPS in the 6 years he's been in the league?
Two.
You know what I mean? So we have just looking at that, you got a 33% chance that that's going to happen again, right?
Yeah.
So you're asking for that to happen. You're hoping to get something out of George Springer and have him not do what I think a lot of people expect, which is get worse. So you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that you're asking for still. Whereas if you get Alex Bregman or one of the other two guys, it's like, just not as many things that you need to go your way.
Yeah, that's the thing. We can confidently go into spring training ready to roll out this team. Big shout out here to Last Dual Gaming, Ebba Ecker, the OG, saying, wow, guys, it looks like Ross Atkins wants to keep his job.
Yeah, baby.
Of course, I just want to know where all the haters are. Facts. I'm here, Abba. I hate Ross Atkins still, but I got to give him props.
Gotta give him credit.
Blue Jays is adding both Alex Bregman and Pete. Oh, okay. I love Abba comes out with the confidence of things are gonna happen, and I love it. Max wouldn't sign here if Pete isn't coming. So that's kind of where we left off right there. That's what we want to kind of hang off this live stream with is, hey, there could be something coming because why would Max Scherzer be coming here if there was no other moves kind of being put in place to put us well over the edge to become a winner? Right?
That's the thing, right?
That's
like,
all I'm
I
saying.
do feel like, you know, you gave him his money, but it's not like you're not overpaying through the roof here. Like, at the end of the day, $15.5 million for that guy doesn't mean that much. He's got, you know, $315 million to his name already,
chilling.
right? So it's like he's totally cool. I think he wants to come here if he believes in it. And I do think that ultimately, like, you've probably told him, it's like, okay, we have strong offers out right now for Alex Bregman and Pete Alonso.
We feel confident we're going to get one.
We feel confident in this. You know, like we're like, or alternatively, we don't know about this. We haven't heard too much about this. We're thinking about making a trade here, and we feel confident with that, right? I just, because, you know, there are still question marks with the team and with the roster, but I would anticipate that, like, this is going to then hopefully lead to other things. If it doesn't, though, I still like where we're at. I'm still I'm hopeful now. You know what I mean? Whereas before I was like, I wasn't. I was just fucking. I was
skeptical.
depressed, actually.
Yeah.
Now I'm hopeful. I still think there are better teams in the league than us, and in the AL East and everything like that. But I am hopeful, and that right there, like that's all you can ask for as a sports fan.
That's all you could walk into the season with, right? Shout out to with I'm off the boat train. Love to be proven wrong. Okay. He's gonna.
I hope
wrong.
yeah, exactly right. Like, and that's ultimately we need that, right? We need him to prove you wrong. I hear you, man. Like the guy was horrendous. Like one of the worst baseball players in baseball last year.
How many times did we see him swinging a slider in the other batter's box, and they were like, oh,
again, like
God.
no, like he didn't. He looked like not even a triple. He looked like a double A guy last year when he was healthy, and then that's not even right.
Possibly double A guy, but it also looked like someone who just wasn't there.
Yes.
Like it was like who took Bo Bichette and replaced him with this? Like who are you? Right?
Exactly. Different guy entirely. Hopefully this helps the mental, the mindset, everything like that moving forward.
Agreed.
We got 1,200 people in here right now. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Let's take 5 minutes right now and answer any lingering questions that some of you guys have about this move, about like anything in general right now. Where are you at right now? Give me your season prediction wins. I know that you already took the 78.5 over for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Y'all should take it, hop on about way.
Like right now, try to
I will.
Peel yourself back from the crazy hype.
I will.
But where would you, if you had to bet your life on a number, one number?
If I had to bet my life on one number,
how many games are they going to win?
With this roster.
With this roster today.
I think
how many games?
You got to factor in, okay, I actually think that with this roster, they might be good enough to still be within the realm of competition, so they're not going to sell at the deadline, because they've had a much better offseason the years prior. So I think they're still going to be there, because that's always a factor when you're trying to do win totals. Because I think the rotation is going to be good enough to try and get them over the hump of the trade deadline to still be competitive. I don't know if they add, because the bullpen or the prospect system is kind of weak. So I think, honestly, the team is going to look like this, but with a couple injuries. I'd probably, if I had to bet my life right now, this offense is a 20th rank to 15th rank, maybe the upside of like 13 maybe rank. So I'm going to go somewhere in the average to below average still. I would say this rotation is the above average, but not great. Probably low top 10. Honestly, now with Max Scherzer, I'd probably say, yeah, we're top 10, top 8. I'd still say, because there are a lot of good rotations out there. Bullpen is going to be, again, still low, below average to average. So with that being said, I think that's a solid 84 win squad.
Okay.
There you go. There's my calculation.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I was like, while you were doing that, thinking about my area, and I'm right around the same. I was anywhere between like 83, 84, 85. Like it feels like 500 slightly better
honestly,
than 500.
84 might be kind of high, actually. I think that's the upside of my window. I'd probably, if I had to bet my life, I'd say 82.
Right.
82, 80. No, 83. I'm there.
See, honestly, a lot of people were saying 83 as well. For whatever reason, that number's sticking out to me, where it's like, and that's why ultimately, well, if you do get Pete Alonso, or you get Alex Bregman,
that's okay. If we're at 83,
now we're wild card.
You're adding 4 WAR. There you go.
And then you get one thing that goes right for you
that you don't expect, you're there.
Bang.
You're there.
Bang. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I'm kind of like a little lower mid-80 range right now. But, and I think that is ultimately me being back.
Yes, it is.
That is me being back. I know that we wish we were the Dodgers and we could confidently say we're getting 100 wins. But I will take my 83 and put it in the fucking bank.
I miss getting 83 wins, you know what I mean? Also, Inked Rails here with a question: if Atkins cooks his offseason, does he deserve a chance to keep his job and get an extension?
So listen, I'll tell you right now, we had Shai Davidi on the show earlier this morning. I asked him the exact same question. I asked him, what's the fate of Ross Atkins? And this was kind of off the record, so I really shouldn't be sharing too much, but he did say that it was all tied to this season, right? It's all tied to what happens this season and everything like that. So ultimately, the results of this, that's going to determine what transpires with Ross and all that stuff. If we win, if these moves lead to us winning and getting into the wild card, okay,
Yeah, I would say he needs to not only getting the wild card, but we gotta win the wild card, right? Like if we go to the wild card and we lose again, it's what's different, right? We're in the same position. Let's not forget the grand scheme of the picture. You haven't won a wild card yet with this team. I still say you got to go. If you can go past the wild card and actually go on a bit of a run, have like 3 home games at Rogers Center in this time, like, man, like then I would say you can keep it for at least now. And I think it also depends on the Vladdy extension. If you trade away Vladdy or Vladdy is gone, then you still might be gone. But if you keep him and you go on this great run, who am I to say you can't have a job?
Yeah, so honestly, like, the offseason moves are important and everything like that, but Ross Atkins' future is directly tied to the results. That's all it comes down to. It's directly tied to the results, and it's one of those things where, like, hindsight's going to tell all. If we win playoff games, you're staying.
That's what it is.
If we lose playoff games or don't make it to the playoffs, you're gone.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Guys, I think this is kind of where we'll wrap it up right now. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button for Max freaking Scherzer coming to the Toronto Blue Jays. Hit that subscribe button, folks, and turn on the post notification button because we're going to be going live tomorrow for our Blue Jays Today show. We're going to have a lot more content breaking down what does this mean for the Toronto Blue Jays? What does a realistic expectation look like for the Blue Jays this upcoming season? And hey, spring training right around the corner. And as well, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Exactly.
Right around the corner.
And holy shit, guys, we're so close to 28,500 subscribers. So if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, and we can hit that right now. We can hit that right now, guys. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. We're very amped up. We'll be back tomorrow with a bunch more content, and hopefully more moves are on the way.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
Go Jays, go!